अस्सलाम वालेकुम। आज मेरे साथ जो एक्ट्रेस हैं उन्होंने स्टेप बाय स्टेप ब्रिक बाय ब्रिक अपना करियर बिल्ड किया है। आज वो इस पॉइंट पे हैं कि शी हैज़ अ नंबर ऑफ़ हिट ड्रामास टू हर क्रेडिट, अ नंबर ऑफ़ वेरी मेमोरेबल रोल्स। शी इज़ एट द पॉइंट कि अब वो चूज़ कर सकती हैं कौन सी स्क्रिप्ट पे काम करें, किस डायरेक्शन में अपने करियर पे लेके जाएं। शी इज़ अ बिजी गर्ल। शी जस्ट डिड अ हिट ड्रामा, राइट आफ्टर दैट शी गॉट मैरिड। These days I'm seeing her almost daily in a Ramzan game show where she is helping people win, helping her team win. In the middle of all that, she's come to meet me. So she's very promising, extremely talented. I think she has a very bright future ahead of her, and she has great dimples. So thank you for meeting me, Ushna Shah.
Thank you. Finally, we did this.
Finally.
It's been in.
But you have been busy.
I've been busy, and I've been nervous of interviews, like sit-down interviews. I don't know why, because I always feel like I don't really have anything to say. You know, the work is there's nothing exciting enough to talk about. But I mean, we've been meaning to sit down for a while, so I'm
But
excited.
Ushna, अभी तो Habs wrap up हुआ है. And there is so
Yeah.
much to talk about क्योंकि वो ड्रामा इतना phenomenally popular था.
Thank you
I
so
mean
much.
ये तो कोई वक्त ही नहीं है कि आप कहें कि nothing to talk about because you've just done
I
one of the biggest hits of the year.
Thank you
फिर?
so much. Thank you, Alhamdulillah. I'm grateful for it.
How did you prepare yourself for Habs? Because that character, I mean, she held the whole story together. She was serious and responsible, and इतनी वो अच्छी बच्ची थी, you know, took care of her mother, her sister. Did
It was a beautiful role.
It was.
For me, preparing for a role, it doesn't take that long because at the end of the day, Pakistani dramas जो हैं, वो मैंने मैं choosy हो कि थोड़े off track characters करती हूँ कि जितने मुझे मुश्किल characters, different characters मिल जाएं, लेकिन अगर आप एक romantic ड्रामे की लीड बन रही हैं तो 99% the formula is pretty much the same, sacrificial, you know, the traits are the same. Now अब उसके अंदर से उस कैरेक्टर को कैसे ह्यूमनाइज करना है और डिफरेंट करना है और क्रिएट करना है, that's on you, and वो usually script आपको जोन में ले आता है. And the beauty of Hubs is I don't like taking credit for everything because it has to be given where it's due. The beauty of Habs was it was very well written.
अच्छा.
Musaddiq Malik is an amazing director. He's so talented. It was his first time directing, and he did such a fantastic job. Before we began shooting, I sat down with Nadeem Beg, jo Musaddiq ke mentor hain, and who is one of the kings in our industry, Nadeem Bhai, and he kind of gave me the essence of Ayesha, and then from there, you know, उन्होंने मुझे बस एक scene sort of खुद read करके दिखाया, and I started picking up on what I wanted to do with her, and from there I took it. मेरी हमेशा मेरी सबसे बड़ी कोशिश होती है कि जो भी character मैं करूँ, I want to make it as relatable as possible,
real,
as realistic as possible. मैं जब भी किसी चीज़ को अगर उसको मैं overplay करने की कोशिश करूँ, तो that I feel like मैं नहीं connect कर पाऊँगी और मेरी audience जो कि ज़्यादातर पाकिस्तानी ख़वातीन हैं वो नहीं connect कर पाएंगी. So the more realistic I can make her, the better. And so a girl like that, you know, उसके traumas को, उसकी upbringing को ज़हन में रखते हुए, and then उसकी reality को, I couldn't make her too pretty. It had to be very raw. वो बसों में धक्के खा रही है. It had to be like no makeup in the beginning, and it had to be like that.
Yes, true.
So I think that kind of put her together.
Does the no makeup thing worry you sometimes? कि नहीं
No,
थोड़ा
I've been
सा?
doing it since the beginning.
So
of
you
my
don't
career.
worry कि
No,
मैं
not
कैसे
at all.
लग रही हूँ?
No, if I'm playing a character, then I'm that character. उसमें मेरे हल्के भी नजर आ जाएं, मेरे जहाँ से बाल कम हो रहे हैं वो नजर आ जाए, उसमें
कहाँ से कम हो रहे हैं?
कभी मोटापा नजर आ जाए, कोई पिंपल आ रहा है वो नजर आ जाए, तो that's fine. मैंने बल्कि हब्स के सीन में या किसी और सीन में I've actually done that. I had a pimple, and I was like, listen, there's a pimple, it's noticeable, let me like pop it on camera. Not pop it in a gross way, but let me like look at it and say, ye kya hai, and just use it in the story. It works. Girls get pimples.
Makes it more real. Makes it more real, है ना?
It's
Relatable हो
truth,
जाता
right?
है.
You have to find the truth and bring it.
लेकिन उष्णा जब ड्रामा शूट कर रहे थे, especially Hubs, क्योंकि Hubs was your most recent project, also बहुत पॉपुलर था. क्या पता चलता है शूट करते हुए कि ये इतना पॉपुलर होगा, कि इतना बड़ा हिट होगा? एक फीलिंग आ जाती है. टीम तो आपकी बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग थी.
Team strong थी. There was a lot of confidence. I did have a good feeling about Habs.
है ना?
because हम लोग scene करते थे and we would just say कि we've done something special, and we weren't thinking about the success at the time, to be honest. We were just so excited कि हम एक इतने मज़े की चीज़ बना रहे हैं. छोटी छोटी nuances, कुछ मैं suggestions डालती थी जो हम करते थे, कुछ मुसद्दिक के बहुत मज़े के ideas होते थे, and so we were just really enjoying the process and the chemistry of the sisters. It was just all of it was so good that we were just happy. And I think जब आप इतना प्यार एक project में डालते हैं तो it just ends up being really good.
लेकिन फिर एक you're only human, आपने अपना next project sign on करना या शायद कर लिया हो. अब आपको पिछला प्रोजेक्ट इतना हिट था, उसकी इतनी बात हो रही थी, तो क्या एक प्रेशर होता है कि the next one has to be just as good, कि you just go with your guts?
I just go with my guts.
Yeah.
I just go with my
gut
gut.
instinct,
I don't really,
huh?
Yeah, I don't really think about it too much. Yeah.
Have you signed on to something?
Yeah,
Maybe scripts देख रहे
I'm
हैं.
in talks for things. I was busy with this one project I did, getting married.
शादी.
So I haven't really had time to read scripts, and then Ramzan happened and I've been so busy. So there's quite a few things in the pipeline, but it has to be something fun.
It has to be something special.
It has to be something special. Like I'm bored.
And it can't be Ayesha again ना, ये भी तो होता है ना कि एक
can't
ड्रामा
be
हिट हो
Ayesha
जाता है
again.
तो बार-बार वैसे ही रोल्स आते हैं, ये भी तो होता है ना.
And the thing is, मिला जुला के it's always the same thing.
Yeah.
It's never like I would like to play something. बहुत कम leading roles आते हैं. And I like carrying a drama. I like being the lead. I've worked very hard, since day one to be able to have that responsibility. So, उस level के जो roles आते हैं, they're usually they're more difficult for me because जब आपको एक चीज़ बहुत uniformed मिले, then you don't have much to play with. Then you have to create something new every time. But if I can get a script that's giving me a little bit more, then I can be more imaginative with it and do more.
Agreed.
But there's no आप एक मतलब मैगी नूडल्स में कितना कुछ डाल सकते हैं.
सही बात. I know. I
Give
get
me
what you're
lasagna.
saying.
Let me spruce that up.
Good luck with finding lasagna.
That sounds horrible and ungrateful. I'm sorry, but it's true.
हाँ.
The idea of a Pakistani लड़की, unfortunately, बहुत जो लोगों को पसंद आता है, बहुत limit हो चुका है. There's more to us. There's shades of grey to us.
You're very good at being that Pakistani लड़की जो लोगों को पसंद आती है. You've gotten it figured out to the T.
I mean, yeah.
You've gotten it figured out for sure.
Even that Pakistani ladki does not exist because every Pakistani ladki has so many shades to her. Nobody's good and bad. Nobody's, I would like to play someone who has multiple tics or has, like some disorder or has other trauma.
कोई eccentricity हो, कोई चीज़ unique हो, है ना?
कुछ और हो, कुछ बुराई भी हो, एक अच्छी लड़की जिसमें बुराइयां भी हैं.
ढूंढो शायद मिल जाए एक दिन.
कुछ होते भी हैं.
I think once in a blue moon कोई ऐसा रोल आता है, but generally
if there's anything that's slightly mildly interesting, उसको आप एक negative shade दे देते हैं, वो peripherally एक negative role बन जाता है.
और negative role आप नहीं करेंगी?
नहीं, I do them, but again, they're actually more fun to do. Bilal was like the funnest character I've ever played.
But Ushna, you get backlash then, ना? लोगों को नहीं पसंद आता. लोग कहते हैं ये क्या? लोग तो गालियाँ देते हैं.
Start believing it too much.
हाँ. थोड़ी emotional है हमारी drama audience, बहुत emotional है.
उनका प्यार है, अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह उनका प्यार है. I have to. I mean, I love it. If they believe it, I love it.
That means you're doing a good job.
Then वो positive भी इतना believe कर लेते हैं कि अगर मैं कुछ पहन लूँ जो उनको नहीं पसंद, अगर कोई बाजू दिख गए या कोई ऐसी बात होगी तो फिर गालियाँ. ये तो ड्रामों में तो इतनी मासूम. Okay. Sorry.
Get used to it.
Yeah, I am
Nobody forced you to get into this career,
I'm
get used to it.
At this point,
and
I
you love it
it.
also. You love it when they love you, right? Of course.
I love it when they enjoy the performance.
When they get emotionally connected.
When they're connected, when they laugh, when they cry. I love that.
But listen, अच्छा अब आप scripts देख रही हैं. Eventually, I think रमज़ान की जब मसरूफियत ख़त्म होगी, once you're done with Jeeto Pakistan, we will hear about maybe a new drama in a couple more days that you've signed on to. Do you look at the script, the production team, the director, the co-stars? What prioritize क्या करती हो?
I've said no to a great team, great co-stars because I didn't like the script or I didn't like my character in the script. I've said no to a great script, great team. I didn't want to work with that co-star for whatever reason. and so I've said no to all of the things, but the director didn't make sense to me for that serial. So it really is a marriage of all these things.
कभी regrets होते हैं कि किसी चीज़ को no कहा and it became phenomenally popular? Happens all the time. Oh, how tough.
कभी-कभी no कहना पड़ता है because of dates also.
Oh, of course.
And you're like, usually my predictions are right, but कभी-कभी with dates also, like I can't do it, but I want to do it, and it ends up being great. But what's meant for you comes to you, so it's okay.
Yes, it's okay. And you've got a long way to go. अभी तो शुरू हुआ है.
Yeah, I don't stress about this.
You can't because bygones, right?
Yeah, and I've grown up also. I have other priorities in life, so I don't take this too seriously.
Okay, your other priorities in life currently are, of course, also you're newly married, right?
Yes, there's that now.
How has marriage changed you, Ushna?
Oh man, how has it changed me? Well, I'm very newly married. It's like what, 2 months?
So you haven't changed at all yet?
No, I have. I feel like this is not going to sound right, and you're not going to believe this based on the way these days are going, but I have become calmer. I swear. So I feel like I've become calmer, I've become more secure, I've become more grounded, definitely. And I feel like I've made it my responsibility. I feel like I'm more inclined to be a better person now. I want to be a better person. I'm constantly trying to be a better human being because now I'm attached to another human being and I'm trying to, I don't know, gel in better and create something beautiful. So it's changed me in that way for sure. But it's a beautiful thing. I love it.
I saw a video recently of you at some shop where you said that I would have gotten married earlier, except that I only met him now. So
that's sweet. Met him now.
That's sweet.
But I mean, I think we also met each other at the right time. Everything happens in the right balance of things.
He's a golfer and you are an actor. How do you guys meet? Can we ask that, or is that too personal?
We met in Karachi through friends. We actually were introduced through an Indian director that I met in Belarus, and he happened to be in the city when we met. We didn't realize, and he was meeting all my friends at parties, and we were an arm's length away, and I would have to go to some dinner and he would be there, but I didn't go there, so we didn't know that we almost met. But then we were also introduced, and then when we finally, like on the phone, and then when we finally met, it was really cool. And he likes to say that he knew from the moment I walked in and he saw me that he was going to marry me. He told me this last night again also. He's like, I just knew. I was like, wow.
Did you know?
I was just like, he's so good looking. He's cute. But there was definitely a connection. Like the first time we sat down and spoke, time just flew. We just connected so much. It was like, he's my best friend. I have a best friend for life. That's the best part of it. I'm blushing, yeah, stop.
Sounds like a movie, a good movie.
It's a good movie. Yeah. Alhamdulillah.
Happily ever after, huh? But Ushna, he's of course traveling a lot. You're traveling a lot. How do you guys?
We haven't met in 2 weeks. I'm gonna go see him for Eid now. It's been a.
हाँ तो ऐसे ही होगा कि he'll be working here and he'll be working there.
His work is seasonal. He's in Vienna for the summer, and then I'm here. So there's definitely for part of the year a lot of back and forth. My work entails a lot of travel.
Traveling anyway.
उनका काम भी जब वो tournaments खेल रहे होते हैं, there's a lot of travel. We meet in those travels also, and then the rest of the year we're together. So it's tough, but we knew this going in. So we'll manage. We'll figure it out. I also kind of like it. It makes you miss the other person a little bit.
So and
there's a mystery to it.
You get to continue with your professional goals. He gets to continue with his.
Absolutely, and he shows support. He was here. He came to Jeeto Pakistan with me. When he's here, he comes to my sets. You know, because how else do you spend time?
Does he watch all the dramas?
He did watch Habs as much as he could. I think.
As much as he could.
I don't think he saw all of it, but he saw most of it, I believe. And then he also got busy, but or maybe he did finish Habs.
Actually, a lot of people tune out of the sad parts. That's what I do. I tune out during the sad parts. I just rush through the sad ones.
I don't watch my own dramas. So I don't know.
At all.
But you know, he was at Jeeto Pakistan, and then when he's playing a tournament, I'm there. So we're very supportive of each other's careers. So
okay. Okay, great, great.
But he'll remember references from Habs a lot. Okay?
हाँ.
That's your Habs house and that's your this house. And
Oh God,
why
then
is
he
your
really
character
watched
doing
it.
this?
Then he really
no,
watched
he
it.
did. He
हाँ.
has jokes about Sabapa's character. He makes jokes about everything. So he gets involved. Yeah.
Okay, great. That means बहुत गौर से देखा है. अच्छा. Okay, and is long distance difficult?
It can be, but it's only long distance when we're very busy. The minute we have free time, we're together. So I think being busy makes it a bit easier.
अच्छा.
Because you're working.
हाँ, तो आप तो busy हैं शादी के फौरन बाद से you've been
Work,
working,
Ramzan. Yeah? So all these things. So Ramzan generally is a busy month, but then it gets really tough, yeah, for sure. Because you want that person there in person in 3D.
हाँ.
So yeah, it's tough, but
So you'll go after Ramzan.
I'm going in like a week, yeah. Excited.
Great. Good, then I got to meet you
Yes.
before you went off.
Yes.
Because we've been coordinating for ages. You know?
For a couple of years now.
That's okay. That's all right. At least we're meeting now.
We're meeting now. I'm glad.
Jeeto Pakistan, is it as fun as it looks?
It's better.
Listen, you guys run about that arena in high heels. You have so much energy. You're helping them. उनकी balls भी उठा के दे रहे होते हैं. उनके bats, जो भी चीजें जिनसे खेल रहे होते हैं लोग. You're picking them up and giving them to them.
It's really fun. It's easy.
It's easy.
Yeah, it's easy. We don't run around that much, but it's really
You
fun.
do. You're on your feet all the time.
But it's the energy so much, and it's like the best show. Like I look forward to Ramzan all year because of Jeeto Pakistan, and also because I love Ramzan. But because ek to it makes Ramzan and Rozas fly. You know, you're doing this job. Dusra, you become like family. From your makeup team to the other captains to the ARY team to the bosses to Fahad, we're all like family. We have iftar together. We have a group where we're teasing each other, and you know, whenever someone loses, we make fun of them and then congratulate them and give them love, and it's such great camaraderie. Fahad has the energy of Superman. I don't know how he does it.
How does he do it?
I don't know. And then like all of us,
So do you guys.
It's amazing. And the girls get along so well also. Like Sana and Shaista are just, they're love. And the boys are so much fun and we all dress up. So I love Jeeto Pakistan. And we change lives. Like we're not changing lives, but we're part of a show that is essentially changing lives. You know, किसी को फ्लैट मिल रहा है, किसी को बाइक मिल रही है, किसी को सोना मिल रहा है.
उष्णा क्या बाहर बहुत रश होता है. I've never been to the show.
I mean, जिनके पास टिकट्स होती हैं वही लोग आते हैं पास.
और बहुत रश होता है, बहुत लोग आते हैं हर दिन. It's a full house.
भरा होता है. It's a full house.
अच्छा उष्णा, you were saying ना कि you're all like family, बहुत friendship है. You have a lot of friends. I think you're very well loved. I was at your shadi also. Everybody was there wishing you well. Yes, you are well loved. But if somebody who you're on good terms with does something that you don't agree with, are you comfortable calling them out? Would you call them out on social media publicly?
It depends how much I don't agree with it.
Acha.
It depends how much.
Because I know you're very honest in your opinion.
Social media has become so dangerous that you have to be careful when you call someone out, and I'm learning that as I go. You can call someone out, but that might put them in direct line of fire to a lot of bullying, which is dangerous, which can be lethal. So now I'm thinking, I mean, unless it's something like very, very serious, I feel like we should now start being a little more careful because it's a weapon now. It's not a joke.
So bullying is something that you are, as it is, extremely sensitive about.
I'm very triggered by
and
it.
Which is why you take a stand when you feel कि somebody किसी के साथ कुछ हो रहा है जो उसकी mental health के लिए बहुत dangerous हो सकता है.
Maybe it's because it's one of my triggers. Maybe it's because I faced it. Some actors are very strong, you know, but like we have these bulletproof shields around us and we just let things kind of ward off. But अगर आप एक bulletproof shield पे भी automatic weapon चला रहे हैं बहुत देर के लिए तो वो भी cracks आने लग जाते हैं ना. And so I guess because I'm more empathetic towards bullying because I know what it can do and in the dark place that it can take you, and it's a very, very lonely and dark place that can affect your physical health, your mental health. And so and you know, it's always I'm a work in progress, so I try to not let that happen to someone. For example, like, you know, if I called someone out because I felt like someone was intruding in my shadi and they snuck people in, a lot of people snuck in also. And immediately after calling them out, because I was really riled up, I've never been that angry ever to think that someone would try to violate a nikah and try to do this. I realized that they were getting bullied, and I knew what retracting my statements would do. But knowing this, I did that so that my fans would kind of back off.
Be
and I did
kinder.
get a lot of backlash for that also. Okay, why is she talking about it again or whatever? But nothing is worth putting someone through that kind of torment. Nothing. Nobody deserves that.
Now, would you want to have a more? Would you get the chance to do it all over again? क्या आप थोड़ी और ज़्यादा private शादी करती, कम लोगों को बुलाती?
मैंने बहुत कोशिश की थी private
नहीं,
करूं.
how would you?
No,
would you do things differently?
No, I did whatever. Like it was a fairy tale wedding. You were there, and everybody who was there, I
Everybody
wanted
wished
them to
you
be
well,
there.
yes,
Everyone did, and it was such a fun wedding. Like it's a blur to me. But did you have fun?
Yes.
It was.
It was a fun wedding.
It was so beautiful.
It was a
mashallah,
happy wedding. You know,
alhamdulillah,
everybody was
alhamdulillah.
happy. Everybody was having
yeah,
fun.
It was just so. It was a fairy tale. So I'm very grateful. So I don't want to sound ungrateful because my mom did so much, and everybody, alhamdulillah, it was so beautiful. No, I would do it exactly the same way. It's just sometimes things aren't in your control. And this time around, you know, because my mom was sick and a lot of things weren't in my control, I wish I had more security. That would have been nice. But chalo, I was just a little riled up that someone would, you know, because my nikah enclosure was far on the water.
You had specified
I specified कि उसको ना करें, and then someone brought in a drone during the signing, and I was trying to like get rid of it, and it was funny actually. We had a laugh. In hindsight, I wouldn't get so worked up about it because I realized कि हमारी society में तो हम मयत नहीं छोड़ते. कोई मर रहा हो तो लोग फ्यूनरल में वीडियोस बनाते हैं, कोई सेलिब्रिटी मर रहा हो तो लोग फ्यूनरल में वीडियोस बना रहे होते हैं उनकी डेड बॉडी की. तो निकाह तो चलो फिर भी एक अच्छी चीज़ है. So I don't think I could have done anything differently, and I wouldn't want to invite less people.
I'll tell you what you should have done differently. I'll tell you what you should have done differently.
What?
You should have gotten off social media on the all through the week of your wedding.
I did eventually. I did.
Eventually.
I did.
But
and I had a
eventually,
great
but it
because
kind of made you so anxious at a time when you should have been only happy.
I did.
Right?
It was momentary anxiety, but I'm just happy that my husband and my in-laws are like the best people ever. Because I think it was my husband who took away my phone. He's like,
Good.
"Why are you reading this? Come sit with me. What are you doing?" And I hadn't slept in like a week. You know, shadi is such a vulnerable moment for everybody.
Emotional, yes.
Any bride. And then you're dealing with that, and then you're dealing with, you know, like family stuff also at the same. A lot was happening, but it was just beautiful because I went to Islamabad for my walima, and then I was off social media.
You were.
And I had like that week, and that the whole time was just
So
stunning.
social media is really bad for mental health.
It's the worst.
It's the worst.
It's the worst. We can't stay off of it that long. I couldn't stay off of it that long.
एक आदत हो गई है.
नहीं, काम.
आदत भी हो गई उष्णा.
आदत तो है ही. You can stay off of it adat wise, but you can't sign off of it for too many days because you have to come back.
Yes,
your
your
account
revenue
has to
and
be-
work
your
is
revenue,
dependent on it. Yes.
So much of our work today is social media,
Yes.
unfortunately. But so yeah, but it was fun. I liked it. It was a good week.
Yes, once
wanna
you
go
got,
back.
I think the whole world was calling you and telling you get off
Get off
Instagram.
social media. Get off of it. I just needed to sleep.
Oh.
I think once I had like a good 8 hours sleep, I was like, okay.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't
Yes, at all. It doesn't
I
matter
also
at all.
have this problem where I get severe insomnia. So like whenever I'm even under a little bit of stress, I can't sleep. And then when I don't sleep, I get riled up. And then it's like a vicious cycle. And then when I get riled up, I'll say something. And then when I say something, it'll have reactions. And when there's a reaction, then I won't sleep. And then it's but that's changed drastically since I've been married because my husband will just like...
It's tough, especially with the profession that you're in, जहाँ हर वक्त कुछ हो रहा होता है, हर वक्त एक खबर कोई ढूंढ रहा होता है किसी तरह
Every day,
निकालना.
people's
Yes.
mission is to tear people down.
That's the world you live in. Your drama Habs was a big hit, but it also was a hit around the same time as a big controversy came up regarding your co-star, Feroze Khan. Was it difficult for you guys working on the drama, still wanting people to see it, not wanting any backlash on it?
We had finished shoot for a while.
अच्छा.
So we were
सब wrap up हो चुका था.
सब wrap up हो चुका था बहुत महीनों 1-2 महीनों से. So I wasn't even in the country when this happened, and I wasn't in touch with the person that it was happening to. We weren't in touch.
अच्छा, so आपके उस वक्त ये नहीं था कि एटलीस्ट आप लोग ड्रामा शूट कर रहे थे, है ना? वो हो चुका था.
We weren't speaking even, like we weren't.
No, but Ushna, by the way, even before this controversy, there was a lot of talk about there being a lot of conflicts. हब्स के सेट पे काफ़ी प्रॉब्लम्स थी. आपने फिरोज़ को अनफॉलो किया था, फिरोज़ ने आपको अनफॉलो किया था. ये बहुत पहले था.
ये पहले
इस कंट्रोवर्सी से बहुत पहले था. What went wrong?
I mean, I don't want to get into what went wrong.
Musaddiq has been very vocal. Your director has been extremely vocal.
Been vocal. The thing is, I'm a firm believer in not trying to kick people while they're down, because whatever did or didn't go wrong there has nothing to do with what the people are talking about regarding his case and that scandal.
यानी वो अलग issues थे और ये अलग issues.
Co-stars में issues होते हैं and friendships में people fall out, and that happens. You know, I had my grievances with him. He had his with me. We were on very different areas of what we saw as morality in our viewpoint of the world. His is very different, mine's very different. So we were also friends once. There was also a level of kindness there.
You guys
once.
also did an ad together.
We did
in Dubai.
Yeah. So you know, I was hurt about certain things, and he may have been hurt too. I don't know. So, but that was way before.
Ushna, there was this talk that you left this ad crying. That okay, you can't talk about it.
So I mean, yeah, but see again, so when this controversy did come out, it was very difficult because we were not speaking, right? Him and I, and I was getting dragged in it. अब अगर हम
You were.
और मुझे समझ नहीं आ रही थी क्यों, बिकॉज जब मैं कुछ नहीं कह रही थी, क्योंकि मैं प्रोसेस नहीं कर पा रही थी कि ये हुआ क्या है, तो मेरे बारे में आर्टिकल्स लिखे जा रहे थे. वाई इजंट शी स्पीकिंग. 15 घंटे मैं कुछ नहीं बोली, तो इट वाज लाइक वाई इजंट शी स्पीकिंग. एंड देन फिर जब मैंने कहा कि ऑफ कोर्स माई हार्ट विल ऑलवेज बी विद द वुमन, गिल्टी और नॉट गिल्टी, एज वुमेन मिलेनिया से हम लोग सप्रेस हो रहे हैं. तो अगर मेरी फैमिली में भी, अगर मेरे भाई की बीवी भी कुछ कहे, then मेरा पहला reaction is to listen to her. That might be unfair for men. I understand. कई cases हैं where it's unfair for men, कि it's guilty until proven innocent. But it has been unfair for women for much longer than that.
That's what you tweeted. You tweeted along those lines.
I did tweet that. So my heart is 100% with the woman, and that's what I said. कि I hope she's all right. And you know, उस पे there was another kind of backlash, and then now, you know, if I speak out against someone being bullied, there's another kind of backlash on that. So for me, irrespective, I wasn't even a part of this, and I was being dragged into it.
You were being dragged into it, and because you were being seen with him.
I was being seen with him
in a hit drama every week. ये उस वक्त हुआ जब लोग आपको उससे connect कर रहे थे कि ये क्या कहेंगी.
And so it's like, what am I supposed to do? Like go on air and rip off the drama? And we worked very hard on that drama. We all worked very hard. You know, it was our baby. So for people to drag that down because of something that has nothing to do with us was really unfair. It was unfair to the team. It was unfair to the crew. जिन्होंने गर्मी में 14 घंटे shoot की. It was unfair, you know. So that's all I have to say about that part.
It was unfair. वैसे regardless, Habs though I think till the very end was being watched constantly.
It was, yeah. At least that didn't get. In fact, the ratings went up. I don't know what to say about that. I don't know what to say about that. Yeah.
फिर भी उष्णा, but then you did. उसके बावजूद ये सारे एक्सपीरियंस करके, knowing the पाकिस्तानी अवाम, knowing ये किसी चीज़ से खुश नहीं होते, you put up a picture with Feroze, because it was my reading of this, and you also spoke about Dr Aamir Liaquat Hussain. My reading of this was that you were talking about them being bullied. It wasn't you taking sides with anyone, है ना? आप bullying के खिलाफ बोल रही थी because you know what it can do, yeah?
Yeah, because
उसमें भी कोई खुश नहीं हुआ.
I don't have anything to gain from Feroze. We aren't in touch. We're not friends. We're not We ran into each other at the gym because we have mutual friends there. We're not in that space. So एक ये भी misconception है कि she's standing up for something. I'm not.
लगा तो यही उष्णा.
No, that's not what it is.
लेकिन आप bullying के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं.
I have my principle and I can't back down on that. I have nothing to gain from Feroze. If anything, I'm being in the line of fire because of this.
जहाँ बाकी सब चुप हैं और कोई कुछ नहीं बोल रहा.
Yes, and मेरी इसकी टेक ये है कि हम जब justice खुद से deliver करते हैं तो it's a lot more lethal. And I think क्योंकि मेरा अपना experience, मेरा अपना trauma bullying को लेके है, I just don't believe in mob justice. And if I find out that anyone I know in any capacity is going in a dark space, irrespective of what my viewpoint with them is, I feel like it's my responsibility to do something and not sit by.
To help
and
them
I'll
somehow.
give you the example of Dr Aamir Liaquat, जिसको लोग within a year यूँ भूल गए. मैं उनके साथ भी इत्तेफाक नहीं करती थी. What he was doing before he died, I did not agree with it. I don't think that I was very much against it.
But you also did not agree with the bullying that was being inflicted upon him.
But what happened, no, and I didn't say anything then. When he was being bullied, I didn't say anything. And not that my saying anything would have made a difference, but he was in a very, very dark space. And then he died. And now he's never coming back. And whatever crime he committed, did it warrant that death, is my question. Because when you're being trolled, it's not one comment. It's hundreds of thousands.
Mob. Yes.
It's a mob.
Crazy mob.
You think आपने एक चीज़ लिख दी और आप चले गए. वो एक चीज़ एक तीर बन सकती है. And any one of those comments can be the straw that broke the camel's back. And the next person is a human. If you're a criminal, I would much rather कि आप जेल जाएं बजाय इसके कि आप ये mental torture face करें, because ये भी एक torture है और ये कोई sentencing नहीं है, right? And so for me, I just don't believe in mob justice that can hurt someone. And when I find out that someone is that hurt, that's when I speak up. And you're not hurting them. This is another point I want to reiterate. You're not hurting them. You're hurting their mothers. You're hurting their children who can read this. You're hurting their sisters. You're torturing the whole family. You're hurting the entire family. And you don't realize that. And अगर आप मतलब अगर आपने किसी को accountable करना है, अगर आपने condemn करना है किसी की alleged बात, तो आप उसे condemn करें. I'm not saying कि मत करें, चुप हो जाए. आपने एक दफ़ा condemn कर दी बात कि I am against this, फिर आप वही energy channel कर लें जो alleged victim है, उसको प्यार देने में, उसके इर्द गिर्द रैली होने में, उसको सपोर्ट करने में, उसकी लीगली हेल्प करने में या उसकी मोरली हेल्प करने में.
यहाँ पे तो गालियाँ ही देते रहते हैं.
इसको गालियाँ इस साइड पे गालियाँ दे दे के डिग्रेड कर कर के अगर आपको लगता है कि आपको अकाउंटेबिलिटी मिलेगी तो आपको अकाउंटेबिलिटी नहीं मिलेगी. हम एक पेट्रियार्कल सोसाइटी में रहते हैं जहाँ ईगो, नार्सिसिज्म, इस तरह की चीज़ें बहुत ज़्यादा हैं. आपको आज तक एज अ वुमन किसी को अब्यूज़ करके अकाउंटेबिलिटी मिली है? मुझे तो नहीं मिली. आपको किसी की मौत मिल जाएगी, किसी की मेंटल डिस्ट्रक्शन मिल जाएगी, किसी की फैमिली की डिस्ट्रक्शन मिलेगी, आपको सॉरी नहीं मिलेगा. डोंट लुक फॉर इट बाय अब्यूजिंग समबडी. यू आर नॉट गोइंग टू गेट इट. आपको रिमोर्स नहीं मिलेगा. यू आर जस्ट गोइंग टू गेट more attacks if anything, or you're going to get a dead person. In the case of Dr Aamir Liaquat, you got a dead person. And it feels like, and when you're under this kind of attack, and I can tell you this from experience, you think often, you often think, if I didn't exist, this wouldn't exist.
Oh, now, it gets that bad.
It's that bad. If I didn't exist, this hate would not exist. You're doing this to human beings, and no matter how terrible those human beings are, they're somebody's son, they're somebody's child. You don't get to bring that justice to them. And if they've hurt somebody else who is also somebody's child, then heal that person and get them justice through the right medium. Don't bring justice yourself. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy, any of this, because I've seen what it can do.
Ushna,
and like I said, I have nothing to gain from this man. we, like you said, we had a falling out.
फिर भी बहुत brave बात थी to put up that picture.
Yeah, because
उस वक्त जिस वक्त कोई पिक्चर नहीं लगा रहा था, it was a surprise.
मैंने उसके साथ एक हदीस लगाई थी,
रमजान is the month of forgiveness.
forgiveness की बात आई तो एक बहुत बड़ी मिसकंसेप्शन भी चल रही है कि I forgive फिरोज खान. उसके 3 सेकंड बाद मैंने एक और स्टोरी लगाई जिसकी पहली लाइन थी I am no one to forgive फिरोज खान. He hasn't done anything to me.
Who are you to pass judgment on him? है ना?
So this is a major misconception that's circulating. I am not there to forgive anybody except those who have harmed me, and I've forgiven them. So
right.
Jesus. Okay,
Ushna, what do you do? I mean, this is tough, and the way you're talking about this, जो आप इतनी emotional हो रही हैं, इससे पता चल रहा है कि you've had your own battles, quite a few, and you continue to fight them almost on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
और ये जो dark spaces हैं, they loom upon you also. Yes?
Yeah, of course.
तो फिर आप क्या करती हैं? आप उसमें से कैसे निकलती हैं?
I have my family and the best support system. You know, I'm very strong in that place right now, especially alhamdulillah. Or I busy myself with work, but I mean, it can become a very real thing. It's a very real thing. It's a very dangerous thing at this point because I don't know कि हमारे मुल्क में क्या toxicity आ गई है, क्या economic turmoil की वजह से या कोई generational trauma है, जो क्या है कि इतनी ज़्यादा jealousy है, इतना ज़्यादा गुस्सा है कि हम सबसे पहले armies बना लेते हैं और हम कुछ सोचे समझे बगैर चीज़ें लिख देते हैं, किसी कमेंट में कोई गलत बात भी लिख देंगे जो सच नहीं है वेरीफाई किए बगैर, लेकिन इसने तो वो भी किया था, या कोई बहुत गंदी बात लिख देंगे, या इतना एंगर, इतना फिल्थ, इतनी हेट्रेड. आई डोंट अंडरस्टैंड कि ये क्यों है. इट मेक्स नो सेंस टू मी कि लिखने से पहले आप सोचें कि जो आप लिख रहे हैं इज इट इम्पोर्टेंट.
यू जस्ट एक्सप्लेन्ड इट योरसेल्फ. वो जो सारी फ्रस्ट्रेशंस हैं, इतनी इकोनॉमिक फ्रस्ट्रेशंस,
और यहाँ ज़्यादा है. मैं देखती हूँ डिफरेंस.
You don't think it's the world over?
It's all over the world, but यहाँ ज़्यादा है. यहाँ बहुत ज़्यादा है और सबके साथ है. मुझे my husband was shocked. He's like, how do you guys do this? He was reading comments of like other celebrities.
He reads your comments?
He used to. You know, I mean, I sound so ungrateful. बहुत ज़्यादा प्यार भी है. बहुत ज़्यादा प्यार है. We're only focusing on the negative. There's more positive abundantly than there is negative. पर जब नेगेटिव की रेन आती है तो वो बहुत ज़्यादा.
आपको ये नहीं लगता कि स्पेशली एज अ ड्रामा एक्ट्रेस, बिकॉज यू आर प्लेइंग सर्टन रोल्स जिसमें आप अच्छी बहू, अच्छी बेटी, अच्छी बीवी, एक कुकी कटर, यू नो, प्योर ऑफ हार्ट, कम्प्लीटली गुड पर्सन प्ले कर रही होती हैं, तो ऑडियंस की आपके बारे में एक कॉन्सेप्ट हो जाता है कि ये ऐसी है, और फिर वो कुछ भी उसके ऑपोजिट देखते हैं तो दे अटैक like mad people. You think that has something to do with it?
Yeah, definitely.
है ना?
It definitely does.
ये है. 100%. तो इसका मतलब आप बहुत अच्छी एक्टिंग करती हैं.
I try to take that as with a grain of salt.
Yes, yes, you have to. क्या आप फिर से फिरोज़ के साथ काम करेंगी?
फिरोज़ ने खुद कहा है कि आप जस्टिस को सामने आने दें. ये उन्होंने खुद कहा हुआ है ना कि let the case be resolved.
हाँ.
तो let that case be resolved then. And as far as anything else is concerned, I think एक change की बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरत है that I would need to see. You know, एक level of humility, एक level of remorse, accountability काफ़ी चीज़ों के लिए. And if that's there, then why not? और वो remorse यहाँ से शुरू हो सकता है कि मैंने अगर किसी के ना करते हुए एक कंपैशन शो किया है, एक चीज़ हाईलाइट किया है कि साइबर बुलिंग इज़ नॉट डिज़र्व्ड, तो वही चीज़ रेसिप्रोकेट हो सकती है अलीज़े के लिए, क्योंकि वो एक बच्ची है, यू नो. एंड जो भी है, मैं उनकी लीगैलिटीज़ में नहीं जा सकती हूँ. बिहाइंड क्लोज डोर्स की बात अभी आप बेशक साइड पे रख दें. वो एक बच्ची है जो उसके बच्चों की माँ है. वो बहुत यंग है और फ़िरोज़ के फ़ैन्स उसे बहुत बुरी तरह हरास कर रहे हैं. हालांकि फ़िरोज़ ने उसके बारे में कुछ नहीं बोला बिकॉज़ वो उसके बच्चों की माँ है, एंड आई लाइक दैट. but I think he should stop his fans from abusing her, from belittling her, because वो ही social media bullying उस पे जा रही है. And I think that's a start to show something from that end, some compassion, because ये armies आ जाती हैं, and if they really are his fans, then they shouldn't be attacking the mother of his child the way they're attacking her. And she's on social media also trying to make money, right? She's endorsing products.
Yes.
So she has to be on it. It doesn't warrant that she needs to get this level of hate when she's alone. And I don't understand कि ये armies क्यों बन गई हैं. यहाँ के लोग यहाँ गालियाँ दे रहे हैं, यहाँ के लोग यहाँ गालियाँ दे रहे हैं, इनकी माँ को, बहनों को हरास किया जा रहा है, वो मेंटल हेल्थ डिक्लाइन हो रही है, उस सिंगल माँ को इस तरह डिग्रेड कर रहे हैं. अगर
it goes on and on, doesn't it?
ना होती तो आज आमिर लियाकत भी जिंदा होता और दानिया की ज़िंदगी ना बर्बाद हुई होती. बिकॉज ये शुरू तो यहीं से हुआ ना कि आमिर लियाकत के फैंस उन्होंने भेज दिए इसकी तरफ. ये भी एक अंडर एज लड़की जिसको शदीद ज़िल्लत और गालियाँ मिल रही थी. उस रिटेलिएशन में इस लड़की ने एक अनथिंकेबल और बहुत डिस्गस्टिंग चीज़ की कि किसी की वीडियोस लीक कर दी. वो वीडियोस उसी सोशल मीडिया में सर्कुलेट हुई तो इस आदमी की बहुत गंदी डिक्लाइन हुई और वो मर गए. इस सब चीज़ों का कॉमन डिनोमिनेटर क्या है? सोशल मीडिया आर्मीज. ये लोग जो बगैर सोचे समझे पॉन्स बन चुके हैं नफ़रत के. ये अगर हम चीज़ें हटा दें तो लोगों की ज़िंदगियाँ इस वक्त बहुत बेहतर हों, बट समझ नहीं आ रहा. और ये लोग जो बन गए हैं पॉन्स, ये कुछ भी कहने से पहले अगर सोच लें कि क्या ये कहना ज़रूरी है. अगर मेरी बात इस इंसान तक पहुंच जाती है जो इंसान है, तो क्या वो उसको अफेक्ट करेगा? कंस्ट्रक्टिव क्रिटिसिज्म तो ठीक है एक जगह, आई वेलकम दैट, एनीबडी डज, बट इतनी नफ़रत, इतना गुस्सा आप किसके लिए कर रहे हैं? आपको क्या मिल रहा है इससे? ये वही आर्मीज़ हैं जो किसी को नहीं बख्शते. मतलब मुझे आपने कोई एक्ट्रेस सिगरेट पी रही है तो आप उसको उसकी हर मोरालिटी को डिस्ट्रॉय कर रहे हैं, लाइक विद ब्लाइंड फोल्ड्स ऑन. किसी ने आपके कहने, इफ अकॉर्डिंग टू यू अलेजिडली इंडियन कपड़े, स्टाइल कपड़े पहन लिए तो आपने उसको एनिमी ऑफ द स्टेट बना दिया है, मोदी बना दिया है. विदाउट थिंकिंग यू जस्ट स्प्यू सो मच. किसी का गाना किसी ने अच्छा नहीं गाया तो आप उसकी फैमिली की धज्जियां उड़ा रहे हैं.
I remember. I know which controversy you're talking about.
किसी ने कोई कुछ कर दिया है, किसी ने कोई बात कर दी है डिप्रेशन पे जो आपके साथ इट्स नॉट मेकिंग सेंस, तो आपने ऊपर से नीचे तक उसको जलील कर दिया है.
People are very cruel.
Hateful things.
Very cruel.
Where is this coming from?
कहाँ से आ रहा है?
I don't know.
Frustrations, lots and lots of frustrations.
I don't know. It's sad. It's sad and it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing for me because when I travel and people start following my friends in the industry and they follow other actresses and other people and they follow me and then they read this nonsense, it's like, oh.
So that's what Pakistan is all about. That's what they think, no?
It's embarrassing. The internet is an open space. You're representing our country. This can't be our fan base. And there's an abundance of love. मैं ये भी कह रही हूँ, but there's also way too much hate.
But you're from a family which is ingrained in showbiz, your sisters in it, and आपके दोस्तियाँ भी बहुत हैं, आपको बहुत टाइम भी हो गया. आपको पता नहीं था कि इतना प्रेशर होगा? Did you ever think of this? कि it'll be a very high pressure job.
My family didn't want me to be in this industry for this reason. My brother didn't want me to be in this for this reason, because I was in Canada. I grew up in Canada. I've been there. Like my accent changes, but I grew up there until I came to Pakistan for high school for a year and a half for O levels, and then I went back to Canada. So I've been there since I was a baby.
तो आपको पता ही नहीं था कि इतना lethal होता है?
So there was a cultural clash, and so when I came here, nobody warned me of that cultural clash. So I would often say things that I didn't realize would be taken so seriously or would have an adverse effect. And then on top of it, there's a way you have to handle things here because it's a much more conservative society and it's a much more patriarchal society.
Have you learned how to handle it now?
Never. I don't think I ever will. I'm getting there. But it is a lot more patriarchy here.
But it has messed with your mind. For instance, के Ushna Shah 5 years ago when I would talk to her wouldn't be so careful with her words क्योंकि वो ये नहीं सोची होगी कि मैं ये बोलूँगी तो मैं ट्रोल ना हूँ, मैं वो बोलूँ तो कोई. लेकिन अब आप भी और आपके तमाम इंडस्ट्री, whoever I interview, everybody's thinking things through.
It's people who are monetizing that trolling. You'll find people जो आपकी कोई बात लेंगे उसको edit करेंगे किसी और के बात के साथ उस पर एक completely out
और
of
आप
context
helpless
headline
हैं,
लगाएंगे,
आप helpless हैं।
आप हेल्पलेस हैं और वो चीज़ परपेचुएट होगी, उसकी ट्रोलिंग से उनको पैसे मिलेंगे और आप जलील हो जाएंगे एंड यूर जस्ट, और आप कुछ नहीं कर सकते। और अगर आप अपने आप को क्लैरिफाई करेंगे तो वो एज अ रैंट बन जाएगी, तो आप और उस साइकिल में आ जाएंगे। It's tough, it's really tough. It's tough. I've been watching The Crown और उसमें they say to all the royals कि the hardest thing is being quiet. It is the hardest thing.
Yes, because you want to defend
You
yourself.
want to defend yourself. It's hard.
You don't usually stay quiet.
I do for the most part now.
No, you.
But now I'm not.
You
quiet.
eventually
right now,
come up with a statement.
for
and
some
say,
things.
है
I
ना?
don't clarify everything because then it would never end.
हाँ.
It would never end. But some things you have to. Like for example, I will never support abuse. Or
आपने कहा
alleged
ना कि I'm a
abuse.
human sympathize. I'm
a
doing out of
human.
humanity.
I just don't support
Yes.
you trying to lead someone to a path that I've seen firsthand can do, and people are killing people and moving on. किसी को mourn करके हाय बेचारा, हाय हमने गलत कर दिया, हाय उसकी mental health, वो इंडियन एक्टर की mental health, वो हमारे टॉक शो होस्ट की mental health मर गया, ये वो, and then 3 दिन बाद you're back at it.
Yeah, it's sad.
That's what it is.
It's sad. You talked about the culture clash. Is it still there, or do you get the culture now? Will you wear particular kinds of clothes that are more acceptable to the Pakistani masses who watch you on the TV screen, or do you sometimes still want to wear what you want to wear? And
I don't adhere to pressure of that sort because clothes were never that big of an issue with me anyway.
clothes पे तो बहुत बातें होती हैं social media
I
पे.
always wear what I feel is best, but I understand my audience and I want to obviously not make them upset either.
Good luck with that.
But that being said, I'm also coming into my own shift of the way I see things. मुझे खुद से शायद मेरी शादी हो गई है, शायद मेरी एज इस पॉइंट पे आ गई है कि मुझे अब खुद से कुछ चीज़ें देखिए, अगर मैं फॉर एग्ज़ाम्पल मैं बाहर के मुल्क में हूँ और मैंने एक टैंक टॉप और टाइट्स पहनी है, क्योंकि वो बहुत एक ओपन जगह है और मैं पहनती आ रही हूँ बचपन से कनाडा में कहीं भी, क्योंकि वो एक लिबरल जगह है और वहाँ सारे लोग ऐसे कपड़े पहनते हैं, मेरा ऐसे पहनना इतना नोटिस नहीं होगा। वो एक नज़र जो है वो उस तरफ जिसे हम गंदी नज़र कहते हैं वो ऐसे इतनी नहीं आएगी।
It won't be a big deal.
Because yeah,
it won't be a big deal.
यहाँ पे मैं अपने आप को भी प्रोटेक्ट करना चाहती हूँ उस नज़र से। अब मैं रियलाइज़ कर रही हूँ कि असल में मैं objectify भी नहीं होना चाहती।
This has nothing to do with you being an actress.
No,
it's with you living here in this culture.
With me living here,
Yeah.
I don't want to be looked at a certain way. I don't want, especially now that I'm married, and even before this, I don't want to have someone notice something in me that I. So I'm still figuring that out mentally and seeing where I go with that. But because यहाँ क्योंकि एक ज़्यादा कंजर्वेटिव सोसाइटी है तो वो नज़र थोड़ी ज़्यादा प्रेवलेंट है और वो छोटी छोटी चीज़ पे नज़र आ जाती है, you know, एक चीज़ जो वहाँ इतनी सेक्सुअलाइज नहीं होगी वो यहाँ हो जाएगी, तो उस चीज़ को मैं अब समझ रही हूँ और उसको मद्देनज़र रखते हुए।
सही, this has nothing to do with your profession. I think ये
No,
होता है
it's
when
me
somebody who lives
personally.
abroad comes to a completely different
It's me
country.
personally, and
Yes.
I'm enjoying. Like I feel like I'm feeling a shift in the way I see the world and see
perceive
myself.
things. Do you sometimes say कि मैंने इस co-star के साथ नहीं वर्क करना because ये difficult है, या फिर ये इस वक्त popular नहीं है, इस वक्त ये अच्छा काम नहीं कर रहा, इसकी acting बहुत बुरी है, कभी ये हुआ है कि आपने इस basis पे मना किया है?
I do enjoy working with good actors because when your actor's a giving, generous actor, then you can play off them well. So that's important.
So that's
to me.
something you'd look at. You know,
Of
if
course,
you
of
don't
course.
get the
There
way
are
somebody
actors who
performs, you would probably back
yeah,
out.
because acting is all reacting, and if
Yes,
someone is not being
it's a
sincere
collaboration.
with you, then your performance gets affected,
ठीक.
and it becomes very difficult. So that's important to me, of course.
So back to real life.
Real life.
Yes, which is very happy for you right now. You've just gotten married. You're exploring a new relationship. क्या पहले शादी से पहले डर था कुछ? Did you have anxiety कि what will it be like being with one person forever and ever?
Yeah, I was very excited to marry Hamza. He's the best human being.
कोई डर नहीं था?
No, बहुत डर था because मैं बहुत देर से independent कराची में रह रही हूँ, away from family. I've been working, and so there's always a fear I remember before my, even though he'd already proposed to me, I had the ring, but before my baat paki, the mangi or whatever, I remember I was like shaking, and my cousins and family was like, sisters were calming me down, take a deep breath. My khalas, mamus, they were all around. And so of course I was nervous because it's a huge change, especially for someone who's, I mean for anyone, if a girl's very young and she's going directly from university, from her home life to that.
It's always going to be a huge change.
Yeah,
but,
so it was a scary
yeah,
change, 100%.
yes.
But then the minute I saw him, there was zero fear.
Really?
It was like, he just,
Oh,
yeah, the minute I
that's
saw
sweet.
him, it was like, everything's fine, everything's great.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. That
He
was
calms you down, makes
He
you
is
happy.
literally a big packet of calm.
Wow.
That's what he is. He's the most calming and calm person I know. He is.
Ushna, I think you needed someone calm.
I did. It's like fire and ice, definitely. Yeah, but
Okay,
he's too
great.
calm sometimes. You know, जब हमने घर renovate करना था, and in Pakistan, you know, you have to like, we're moving into a new house, you know, so you have to like run after the people and पीछे भागना पड़ता है, थोड़ा लड़ना पड़ता है, and he can't लड़ोफy with anybody.
So you're
वो
the,
लड़ते नहीं हैं और मैं लड़ती हूँ. I was like, can you कुछ कहें? He's like, वो कर देगा, हो जाएगा. And I'm just, नहीं हो जाएगा, हमसार डांटना पड़ेगा.
okay.
But yeah.
कोई बात नहीं, हो गया ना.
Yeah, हो
लेकिन
गया.
what's your advice to young girls wanting to explore their career while also maybe getting married to someone that they like?
Well, find someone who's supportive of your career. But my advice to any woman, young, old, any woman, is make yourself financially independent.
अच्छा.
Always make yourself financially independent. हर लिहाज से, अपने अब्बा के पैसे से भी, क्योंकि हम एक patriarchal society में रहते हैं, अपने husband के पैसे से भी. That does not mean कि आपके husband की कमाई पे आपका हक नहीं है. ये एक इस्लाम ने हमें एक perk दिया हुआ है, या आप enjoy करें. मैं भी करती हूँ. I love Hamza spoiling me and taking care of things. That's a beautiful thing. But चाहे छोटा हो, चाहे ज़्यादा हो, किसी भी लिहाज से अपनी एक आमदनी रखें, किसी भी तरह से. अगर आप जॉब कर सकती हैं, अब हाउसवाइफ होना फुल टाइम बहुत मुश्किल काम है. It's tougher than anything else. It's managing a house and children. I'm sure it's the most difficult thing. So I'm not taking away from that. लेकिन अगर आप किसी तरह से आप कोई वो कर लें, कोई बिजनेस खोल लें, ऑनलाइन बिजनेस कर लें,
Some hobby that can
कोई
be
hobby that
monetized,
can
है
be
ना?
monetized.
हाँ.
अपने हस्बैंड से कहें, जो मेरी वेल ऑफ, जिनके हस्बैंड्स भी हैं, जो मेरी दोस्तें हैं, मैं उनसे ये कहती हूँ कि अपने हस्बैंड से ये मत कहो कि तुम्हें शनेल बैग लेके दे, उसे कहो कि तुम्हारा बिजनेस में कोई इन्वेस्टमेंट कर दे. ऑलवेज हैव योर ओन मनी. दैट विल, एक तो इट गिव्स यू सिक्योरिटी, दूसरा इट गिव्स यू, आई फील दैट इट गिव्स यू स्टेबिलिटी इन द रिलेशनशिप. बिकॉज मैं इतने लोगों को जानती हूँ जो टेकन फॉर ग्रांटेड हो रही हैं, इतनी ख़वातीन, बिकॉज इनके हस्बैंड्स को पता है कि वो कहीं जा नहीं सकती. सो इफ द हस्बैंड understands that if she wants to leave tomorrow for whatever reason, she can. She chooses to be here. Then automatically he will value her more. And I thoroughly believe that. And aside from that, it is good to have your own money. It's a nice feeling to be able to say कि अगर मैं for example अपने husband को birthday gift लेके देना चाहती हूँ, कुछ उसके लिए करना चाहती हूँ, तो अच्छा नहीं है मैं अपने पैसों से करूँ. That's a nice feeling. So I thoroughly advise girls and parents के जहेज़ के बजाय उनकी education में पैसे लगाएं, and हमेशा अपने आप को किसी ना किसी तरह से financially stable करें, financially strong करें, कुछ ना कुछ अपने लिए करें. That's my advice.
That's a very good message, and it makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Particularly in the world that we live in right now.
Yes, absolutely.
है ना?
Absolutely. And a lot of times I notice कि कुछ husbands हैं जो नहीं पसंद करते कि उनकी बीवी की कोई income हो. And
अच्छा,
I feel
फिर
like,
क्या करें?
And वो disguise ऐसे बात होती है कि तुम्हें क्या ज़रूरत है, तुम तो princess हो मेरी. वो disguise इस तरह से होती है बात. But I feel like वो एक form of control है. वो एक form of ownership हो जाती है, because मैंने destruction देखी अपने करीबी लोगों की, जिनको कई साल independent नहीं होने दिया, फिर जाके कोई ऐसा काम कर लिया कि वो जाना चाहती हैं लेकिन वो मजबूर होकर नहीं जा सकती.
That's so sad.
That's really sad.
हाँ.
तो वो एक power अपनी ना खोएं, और फिर अपने husband से क्या आपको spoil करे, आपको नाक का ख्याल रखें, ये भी अच्छी चीज़ है.
Good advice. Ushna, you don't give interviews. You're very good at giving interviews.
Am I?
I'm so glad we had this
I feel like
conversation.
I ramble too much.
No, you ना सिर्फ रैम्बलिंग, मुझे लगता है कि आप सब, आपकी पूरी फ्रेटर्निटी बहुत केयरफुल हो गई है जवाब देने में। आप लोग इतना ट्रोल और इतना बुली हुए हैं कि थक गए हैं, and you are worried about what you say, but you speak very well. You don't need to worry.
Thank you so much, Lilia.
Okay. So I'm so
you
glad.
asked really good questions.
Oh, you give very good answers.
The vibe is really good. I feel very safe here. So thank
I
you.
had a great time.
So
Thank
did
you
I.
so
Thank you
much.
so
Such
much.
a good, honest, sincere interview.
Thank you.
I wish I could ask you for what next project you were signing on to,
I
लेकिन वो
honestly, I'm in
आपका
talks
कोई
for
है नहीं.
things.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much. Thank you.